You know, I noticed that my cousin had forgotten to mention these events, so I persuaded him to let me do these first. So, I might as well start in mid 1923, when some heroes had returned, as well as some young ones. If you were to go along the Victoria to Dorking line, you would stop or pass a place called Sutton, which spurred off onto a nice little branch line to a place called Epsom Downs, where it meets with the Inmond Valley Railway. The lines have changed quite a bit over the years, but back then there were only 12 stations on the main line. This line goes from Sutton Road in the south of Greater London to the coast west of Brighton and Esterlock in the south, located at the north of an island called Cresta, which has another larger island below it. But more on that later. At the time, my great-great-grandfather, Lord Vlad Inmond, was kept busy with the change of areas of Surrey and Sussex. At the time, the Big Four had only been around for a few weeks, and the railway only had a few engines, which most were from the recently formed Southern Railway. The fleet itself consisted of a pair of E2s numbered 2103 and 2108, which worked at the Bylon Cross and Esterlock, with a K-Class Mogul number 338 being the current main mixed traffic engine. The fleet also consisted of a Drummond T9 number 715 and a 0395 class number 567, which handled the passengers and lighter goods work, an Adams 415 radial tank number 125, which worked on the Templeton branch, the 330 class number 0334 that handled the odd jobs on the line, such as stop collecting, as well as a Drummond M7 number 107 that worked on the Quarton branch, an A1X Terrier number 2659 and an Adams G6 number 266, who worked together as the station pilots at Sutton Road, both helping out at Templeton branch from time to time, with the help from the last train that came from the south in the form of a Wainwright D-Class number 577 for the heavier passenger loads. The line throughout this time had acquired engines outside of the SR, which consisted of a Worsdale J27 number 1028, a Johnson 1142 class number 1187, a 4300 Mogul number 4326, and a Dean Goods number 2386, which, despite their size at the time, had powerful engines that managed well with the heavy workloads that they had to endure to rebuild Great Britain. But I shan't say any more, or I will spoil the rest of the stories. My cousin has always been such a spoilsport. My name is Lily Inmond. I am the great-great-granddaughter of Lord Vlad Inmond, and these are the origins of the engines of Inmond. War was now 5 years old, and the country was still trying to reform from what had happened. Even though there was this, they had to combat with the recently formed Big Four and the new timetables. And the newly formed Southern came to the railway's aid and offered 4 ex-London and South Western engines. It had been a rather hot day, and the railway's Johnson 2F and Drummond T9 were sat in the sheds at Esterlock.
Evening, Damien.
Hello, Brandon. Busy day?
Aye. Anything about those new engines arriving?
I'm afraid not, old friend. The orderman said that they'll be here before the end of the week, but then again, the SR has only been formed for a few weeks now. They're probably sorting out the paperwork.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if I get replaced.
Rubbish! Cassie is just older than you, and her cars are still useful.
They were suddenly cut off when they saw a long tender approach them.
What is that?
That looks like one of my Scottish cousin designs.
The large engine was painted in newly designated SI malachite. He stopped in the row next to the two smaller engines. Damien had caught sight of a nameplate that read Camelot.
Good evening, lads. I'm presuming I'm at the right place.
Are you one of the new engines?
Wait, how many of them are there? Because I know there's me and a mate of mine, but...
He stopped to hear arguing from the junction as two more of the same looking engines reversed in. Both of their nameplates read King Leo de Grance and Tintagel.
Well, 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 look who it is.
Well, Cam, it's been a while. I'm glad to see you.
Same here, but less so for seeing...
Oh, shut up, you.
Excuse me, but can any of you tell us who you are and what classes?
We are King Arthur's, or commonly known as N15s.
And all four of you the same class?
Wait, there's 4 of us coming down here?
Whoa! That's a rather loud whistle. Guessing this is the last one.
Brandon was right. The final N15 arrived and rolled into the last place of the shed, with the nameplate Excalibur.
Ellie! You're here too! Don't tell me you're the last one of us.
Shut up, you.
Why do I get the sense that this will be constant? Ah, you've all arrived.
Lord Inmond seemed very confused with the quad that stood in front of him. All 4 engines were the same. He had hoped for something for each sort of work.
Alright. What are your names? And only one of you say.
I'm Excalibur, or Ellie. Eyebrows is King Leodendrons, or Leo. The silent one is Camelot, or Cam. And the last one is Tintagel, or Tim.
Alright. Well, I shall be speaking to the Southern about this because there might have been a mix-up. In the meantime, you shall do whatever work you are asked to do. No fuss, no bother. Am I understood?
The news didn't fall on deaf ears. Damien and Brandon heard the whispers and Lord Inmond left. Half an hour passed and it was just Damien and Ellie left awake.
I'm sorry about this lot. You'll just have to ignore them if they start arguing.
Oh, I know how to, my dear. But it won't be me who you'll have to tell this to. We have a bad apple here, so I would suggest being wary of him.
And who would that be?
I believe a design from our way. A BT330.
That doesn't surprise me. The majority of the class is like that. Trust me, one is more manageable than half the class. Oh, I don't think I caught your name.
Oh, well, my manners. I'm Damien. The railway's number 2, I guess you could say.
But your actual number is 715. I believe I've heard about you. The one that helped with the boat train, was it?
Ah, yes. But that's a story for another time. But I would recommend getting some sleep now. We have a long day ahead of us tomorrow.
Damien was soon asleep, which then left Ellie to wonder about her new home and what it had in store for her and her siblings. But that's another story.